what are some tips that we could give newly diagnosed people or people who may be dealing with more advanced disease who are in the community setting that may not know or even think about, gee, I can go to an academic center to get a second opinion, or I want to have a discussion with my doctors. How many times have I heard a patient say to me, my doctor doesn't want to discuss trials. He goes, I don't need a trial. And it shuts the patient down. What can we do as advocates to help foster and facilitate a dialogue between patients and their doctors in the private setting?
It's a new mindset, because for many years people just didn't. They didn't question anything a doctor told them. And we're becoming a different generation of patients, I hope, but not everyone. And it's hard for a doctor to know how much a person wants to be involved in their care. You know, I come in as a medical professional and they kind of go, oh no, you know, they don't want to deal with nurses, yeah. we're their worst nightmare in some respects. Yet, I didn't know cancer when I was diagnosed. I may be a nurse, but it was a new thing for me. And I had to, like you said, Mary Lou, I had to step back a moment and say, okay, they wanted to start chemo that day of my diagnosis. And I said, I need the weekend to think about this, and I need to process it, I need to tell my family. But I think some of what we can do about, in terms of your question on clinical trials, if we can begin educating non-cancer patients, you know, all of us are potential patients at some point, but helping people get a better grasp on just what clinical trials are, what do they mean, get rid of the term guinea pig, you know, which comes up with clinical trials. And to help people understand most medical decisions don't need to be made at this exact moment. Now, I say that as from the perspective of a disease that's so aggressive, you don't want to wait around long. But my doctor said, you know, you need to start today. And I said, you know, for 4 months I've been trying to get this diagnosis. I can start chemo Monday. Those couple days aren't going to change things. And I think to help people understand, they can gather some additional information, and having patient navigators now is a great help in oncology, someone who can help maybe pull all of that information together and help you, because we don't know what to, like you say, we don't know what to ask. We don't know what the implications of any of this is, and it's an emotional time. You know, your life is turned upside down.
And I think we need to make it more doable for community physicians, and because I think that's where people are treated. And if you're going to a community physician for your cancer care and they're not involved in research, they're gonna oppose it, you know, so it stops right there. There's also the payers that we, you know, and United Healthcare has all sorts of educational programs. I think there's some avenues that we might take through the payers that might have more impact with the patient population to prepare them for clinical trials.
Do you foresee a time, which would need to happen in the very near future, facing all the complex reimbursement issues, that the research advocate community would actually be able to have a voice within the payer sector? Mm-hmm. How do you foresee that evolving?
Well, I think it's already beginning to evolve. I'm on a national business group on health program, and there are many payers at that table, and they're looking at developing benefits specifically for cancer. And they're benefits that include depression, they include symptom management. It's not all treatment, and certainly screening and detection. So that to me is an indicator. I've been asked by the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association to be on a technical working group looking at what does progression-free survival mean? Not for drug approval. What does it mean? Does it have intrinsic value? So the fact that they're reaching out to advocates tells me that maybe we're getting there.
Yes. And it seems so that the area of advocacy is really very fluid right now. Mm-hmm. And that's a real privilege for us to be able, because for the longest time I think we were pigeonholed or we were constrained. And the box that we were once in, it seems like the edges are breaking away, and now we have an opportunity to really step out and push and be aggressive with a sense of direction.
As a research advocacy community, we have a need to expand our scope and bring in new faces and new ideas, and to make it more doable for people who want to get in to be a research advocate. And so, you know, to provide the educational programs and to link them with opportunities and really expand. So we don't just have the same faces on all of the panels, and we're not all sitting at the same tables, but we get more voices involved.
And so thanks to all of you, and in particular to Ginny Mason, to Mary Lou Smith, and to Elda Railey for coming together and giving us this opportunity and including me as a research advocate.
Absolutely.